Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8. Priced at $249.99, this 8-inch Android tablet runs version 4.22 out of the box, has a 1280 by 800 IPS display. You've got a quad-core processor, a gig of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, a micro SD card slot for storage expansion, Wi-Fi, BGN connectivity, as well as Bluetooth, GPS. Also, you have a front-facing 1.6 megapixel camera as well as a 5 megapixel rear cam. So a relatively solid set of specifications, even though the quad-core processor that I mentioned before isn't a household name. I'm going to flip over the box just to show you the actual processor itself. You can see it right there. It is the MTK 8125. So while you may not have ever heard of this chip, the point is that performance does point to a relatively solid experience, especially at its $250 price point. So overall, there's no question that the Yoga brand is about versatility and design. And as you can see right here, that's what we've got here. It actually reminds me of my old iRiver Spin, as well as tablets like the Sony Tablet S, where you actually had a little bit more to hold on to. And as you can see right here on the box, like all Yoga products, Lenovo making it clear that there are 3 different modes. We have stand mode, tilt mode, and hold mode. With that said, let me go ahead and get this $250 tablet out of the package. And overall, I really do like the design here, but the other big pitch for this tablet is battery life. Both the 8-inch and 10-inch version of this have, at least out of the box, some great ratings when it comes to battery life. Lenovo claiming something crazy like up to 18 hours with this, but in all likelihood it's going to be less. But still, to get anywhere near that is going to make it relevant to competitors, because that is certainly, in my opinion, a redeeming factor for a value-oriented tablet, which this definitely falls into that class. So excited. The design, again, really is the selling feature, plus the battery life. Those are the 2 biggest things. If those 2 concepts, the form and the actual function, don't appeal to you, then this isn't the right tablet for you. But I'm going to go ahead and put the tablet aside for a moment, show you the balance of the contents of the box. We have a quick start guide right here, and then our charging cable. By the way, this is a micro USB. Not anything proprietary. Lenovo knows better than to do that, at least here. And our actual wall wart, the power brick for the charging capability there. So that's pretty much it in the box. Going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Let's focus on the tablet. And you can see they're showing us right here that basically how you flip out the kickstand using, at least in that diagram, your right hand. And then they also take you through just the kickstand mode. So let me get the plastic off of this. Build quality, by the way, feels relatively solid, at least in terms of what I'm seeing so far. It's plastic pretty much everywhere, but still has a nice hefty feel despite the plastic build. And that lip that I said was reminiscent of my iRiver Spin, you can see right here, as well as the Sony Tablet S. And that's where the holding mode comes into play. But before I get to that, let's just take a tour of the hardware. You can see we've got our recessed, it's not really recessed, but power button here that does taper off in terms of the finish of the design. You can see the slant there. The charging port, which is a micro USB standard micro port right there, so you can use that for file transfer as well. We've also got our rear camera right there, which I did mention is rated at 5 megapixels. The kickstand right here on the back of the device, which you can see you can pry open, as I just did from the pry point. Dolby certification, that's something to point out, because this device does have front-firing speakers that happen to have Dolby Digital Plus branding. So I'm expecting good things in the audio department here. Lenovo trying to make sure really that both the 8-inch and 10-inch version of this product are clear media consumption tablets. After all, what good is a tablet if it can't accomplish that at the very least? But I like this industrial design. On the right side of the tablet, we have our headphone jack, volume rocker, and what appears to be either a pinhole for reset or a microphone. On the back, I forgot to point out, we have our micro SD card slot right there alongside that Dolby certification. So now in terms of the actual modes that this can be used in, first of all, let me see if I can power it up. Just felt some haptic feedback, a little vibration. First assessment of the screen out of the box right now. You can all take a look with me. I'm not seeing any dead pixels, but then again, I really have to look at this not when shooting a video for all of you. That's going to be the best way for me to identify any glaring issues. But from what I can see, backlight bleed seems in check. Again, remember, this is a 1280 by 800 resolution display, which some people might find disappointing, but in my opinion, at this form factor, it's perfectly fine, especially since this is IPS. I think once I crank the brightness up, it'll probably be relatively nice. There's that 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera. Now, in terms of the design, I mentioned there is a hold mode, which is basically putting the weight of the tablet in your palm. And the way they've done that is most of the weight, of course, is in this back piece, the spine, the column, that runs along the entire frame of the device below the Lenovo Yoga, or excuse me, just the Lenovo branding. So yeah, clearly the idea there, and by the way, it's friendly for both lefties and righties. Of course, you can just flip the tablet and there you have it. So I think conceptually with design, that's already a good start, and I can see why this would be far more comfortable, and it's been demonstrated by other tablets. I mentioned the Sony Tablet S. There are others that also incorporated this design in the past. That's not the only one. So ergonomics definitely taken into account. Beyond that, as I mentioned before, you can then take out the kickstand, and now we have it in the stand mode, so that, you know, whether you want to watch something, you have a traditional kickstand this way, and it works nicely. I can tell you that already. I expected as much. It's a simple function. That's that. Then you can go over to the actual, as I overdid that there, to the tilt mode, which I believe is just like that. And now you've got my camera recording the video. But clearly better for typing, viewing stuff maybe while you're in bed, or you have this next to you on the couch, something like that. Something where you don't want the exact same angle offered by the stand mode, which is definitely better if you're sitting in a chair, or something to that effect. But a pretty decent range of motion, something that generally you'd have to purchase a case to accomplish, and that's what Lenovo is, again, building in for yet another layer of value, in my opinion. So overall, like the build quality here. Overall, also a very strong set of specifications at its price point. Yes, the processor isn't going to win any performance battles, but I think that it's competent, and if this does really end up bringing in the battery life numbers that Lenovo's claiming, then there is a clear effort, or reason, I should say, to make an effort or interest in this tablet, because overall the price point really isn't going to break the bank, and when compared to other tablets in its class size, it does seem to be a relative bargain. Granted, you have things like the Tegra Note, which I'm getting ready to unbox and share with all of you soon, as well as the Nexus 2013 7-inch tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-incher. All of those tablets obviously are going to be taking this head on. Forget about even Windows tablets coming into play. But as far as an Android 8-inch tablet, when it comes to design and battery life, this already is one of my favorites. It just lends itself from designs that I was fond of in the past, and does so in a very clean and lightweight package, but still feels sturdy despite the $249.99 price. And remember, there is also a 10-inch version, exact same design, $299.99, and that one basically same screen resolution, same everything except battery size. Clearly it needs more battery in order to support the larger display. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them, and of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.